Hello again, everybody. Adrian Plass here.
Hello, I'm Bridget.
And the first thing I want to say is that I'm afraid the bad news is that this thing is probably going to continue until well into 2022.
You're not talking
I'm
about
not talking about the virus. I'm talking about the Monet jigsaw, which we started 3 days ago and which is absolutely driving me round the bend. It's just a mass of little blue bits and little green bits, and even in the short time since we mentioned it on one of these get-togethers, people have been making jokes about it, particularly songs. Monet, 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 give me Monet, that's what I want. Well, I don't want this Monet jigsaw. But I tell you what, we're going to do it. Even if we emerge in a couple of months from our lock-in with this jigsaw done, if that's our only achievement, I shall be very pleased and surprised.
There are some lovely things happening at the moment, aren't there, despite the massive tragedy that we're in the middle of. And one of them, of course, in the UK happened last night, because Thursday nights are clapping for carers. And there we were on our doorstep, and along with a vast number of the population, clapping away. It was lovely, wasn't it?
It was. We actually crept out rather miserably because we went out of the door and it was 2 minutes to 8. And I think only one other house had got people outside it, and we thought we got it all wrong. And then they were all there. There were children hitting pots and pans. There were people singing and clapping. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
No.
To go from all being locked in and not being available to each other to suddenly having a community on a street remembering the people who really count at the moment. Yeah. I felt so warmed by that.
And what was particularly lovely was there's a family who we don't know at all, but we've kind of waved to once or twice, who live over the road from us, quite a bit further up the road. And they were out early as well, and their little boy just wanted to bang his saucepan, and he kept banging it earlier, and his mum kept saying, no, wait. And because it was so quiet, we could hear her, and we could hear him saying, why not? Why have I got to wait?
Well, I did have some sympathy with the small children, because that particular occasion, that event, must have been yet more evidence that grown-ups are just complete lunatics. They say to you, right, we're going outside the front door now, and we're going to clap and bang our pots and pans. And they say, who are we going to clap? And they say, people in the hospitals. But they're not there. Mm. No, but they'll know we did it. Everyone's going to... And so out they come, and they love banging their pots and pans and clapping. It was a great event. I really, really enjoyed it.
And I think it is a celebration. And again, I say all over the world, of people realising that actually there was a need for the balance to be redressed, maybe. For, we live in a celebrity world, don't we? I don't know half the celebrities who come on television. I keep, who's that? What have they done? But it's a big thing. It's a big deal, celebrity. And it's not that I'm saying there's anything wrong. In fact, some of the celebrities, in inverted commas, have been very generous. Some of them are making it very clear how much they support the hard work of what's going on. But it is also true that we maybe don't thank enough the people who keep us going. And I've been so aware when our bins were collected on Tuesday that I don't really necessarily think there goes a hero.
No. I suppose in the end it's a reminder or a confirmation of the fact that, certainly for people who have a belief, for us it would be a Christian belief, for others it would be another perspective, but that every single person that you encounter in some kind of spiritual perspective is the most important person in the world.
Absolutely.
And that is the burden and the joy of being able to help other people. But we are all subject to this. I know when I started writing and things were going really, really well, and I was a bit up myself, to be absolutely honest.
Of course you weren't, darling.
And I read in a book, someone had said that there are 3 likely temptations to attack Christian speakers, and there was...
Especially if they're international.
Yeah, international, yes. Sex, money and power. Well, I didn't get even a sniff of any of them. It would be nice to have had something to resist. If only I could have just had something small to resist. But even in small ways, it's amazing. we're sitting in our back room, and the back room has some beautiful big French windows, and those French windows look out onto the garden, which we really enjoy. And halfway down the garden, there are some bird feeders.
It's true. And when we first moved into our house, we took these bird feeders very, very seriously. And in a way, maybe we too were sort of sucked into the idea that some birds are more important than others simply because they're a little bit scarcer, or mainly because they're more beautiful. I know if you're listening to this in Australia, you might well say, well, come on, we've got rosellas, we've got lorikeets, we've got all sorts of gorgeous birds. What have you got? Well, actually, we've got some exquisite little birds. They're small, but they are stunning.
Yeah, they are. They are. Well, we had to go through a little baptism of fire ourselves over this bird thing. And we actually, afterwards, after our first time we put stuff out for them, we tried to write down the sort of dialogue that occurred at that time, and it went something like this.
Okay, Adrian, I think I've got everything ready now. Let me just go through.
We've binoculars? Have you got
binoculars?
binoculars?
Yeah, no, of course
Yeah,
I've got the
good.
binoculars.
Right.
And we've got fat balls, and we've got
yeah.
wild seed mix,
Yeah.
because apparently, according
Yeah.
to the packet, that
Yeah.
actually brings out all sorts of birds. So we should be fine there, especially in the winter.
And what about Niger seeds?
Check.
Good, because Niger seeds are the things that bring the goldfinches, they are beautiful. You said about little, they're beautiful. I love them. And I was wondering, this sounds silly, but you put the Niger seeds out, right? So
Yeah.
how do goldfinches, how do they find out we put special stuff in our garden just for them?
I don't know. Maybe they look on Twitter.
Yes, very funny.
That wasn't very funny, was it?
Anyway, you've got the binoculars. Anything yet?
Well, hold on a minute. I have, and let me just finish running through the stuff, because I know that I've put some flake maize on the ground as well.
Blackbirds,
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
for blackbirds.
Yeah.
And the tits love sunflower seeds,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
blue tits, coal tits, all of those. Oh, and for the greenfinches, they
Oh, that's-
love, and
that's
also the
excellent,
blue
yeah.
tits love peanuts. So the whole lot, we've got amazing.
Excellent. And I suppose we ought to be reasonable and accept that we are bound to get the odd sparrow, aren't we? We really are.
Of course we are. They've got to eat as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Whoops. Wait. Here we go, Adrian. We've got our first bird.
Goldfinch?
No, it's a sparrow, but hold on. No. Look. There are two birds, and they are going straight into the Niger seeds. Oh, my goodness. They are absolutely loving it.
Wow, 2 goldfinches.
No, 2 sparrows, actually. Come on, you have a look.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. I know you're right. It's just the 2. Hey, look at that. That is amazing. That is a whole flock.
Whole flock of what?
A whole flock of sparrows. I thought they were meant to be scarce nowadays.
Yeah, well, that's because they're all here in our garden. Right, no more expensive Niger seeds for our birds.
No, certainly if they're not just for sparrows.
Actually, of course, we grew to love our sparrows, and we do have the occasional other birds. We have a fat pigeon who comes every day, and we have a robin. So actually, that's fine. But that balance, that idea that Adrian said, that there are no unimportant people, that the people who you might not notice were always just as important to Jesus. And in fact, he does say one little thing, doesn't he? He says it about sparrows. He actually says that not one sparrow will fall without him noticing it.
Oh.
That throws up its own problems, of course.
Well, it does, because I think most people will probably kind of remember that as he will look after them, or he
he'll
will
catch them,
he'll pick them up, and my mind immediately goes back to that appalling plane crash over the Ukraine. Do you remember where very small children fell from that sky, and they were not
caught. So what can we take from that then?
Well, a first acceptance, I think, and it's taken me years, because I always wanted God to be a sort of teddy bear Jeeves type, who did everything for me and looked after me and wiped my feet and looked, all that stuff. Wipe my feet.
You hate having your feet touched.
I would hate anyone to touch my feet.
But a social worker,
someone,
sort of a god.
sort of social, someone whose main task was to make sure nothing went wrong for me.
To look after Adrian Plass.
Now, clearly, but a lot of Christians feel that.
They do.
And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If that was all there was, if all you could say was, well, he doesn't care, he doesn't do anything about lots of people who are suffering and things that are going wrong, if that was all there was, I think I'd become a frog worshipper or something. But it's not. Because what I think we have discovered, and what is very valuable to me, and I think you as well, is that he gives us jobs to do for the sparrows, if we're going to continue the metaphor, that need help. And in some ways we've been very privileged because we've been to remote parts of the world and seen how that's happening.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I think what it's talking about is that God notices them, he sees them, and he wants us to have his ears and his eyes and to see them as well, and that he's looking round to say, who have I got? Who have I got who will notice this sparrow falling? And certainly, I mean, we've had trips with 2 wonderful charities, but I know lots of other people are involved with some extraordinary charities as well. The particular ones for us were World Vision. We went to Bangladesh and we went to Zambia. And with Toy Box, we went to see the work done with street children in South America. And again, we saw people trying to catch children as they fell, to prevent them from disappearing in one way or another. And it was when we came back from one of those trips you wrote this poem, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really reflecting, I suppose, an attitude that I had for years, which was a kind of detachment from God. I was me, God does the work, God's the one with the power, God's the one who loves everybody who is supposed to, and I'm the one who benefits from that. Now, there's a lot of tensions there, but this really reflects that, and it's my view, and it might be others, my view at that time, which I think was very short-sighted. It's called, if I was God, I wouldn't let the children die. If I was God, I wouldn't let the children die. Not me. I'd use my power, wouldn't you? You never find me sitting round in heaven twiddling my eternal thumbs as some poor baby fades to nothing, wailing for a love that never comes. I get my act together, heal some pain, hurl some thunder, send some rain. I'd clothe some orphans, I'd dig some wells, I'd throw some parties, I'd ring some bells, I'd feed some kids, win some fights, build some homes, fly some kites. That's what I would do. I'd look for helpers who would be my hands and feet. They'd show my face in every slum and street. They'd broadcast love and let compassion fly. That's what I would do if I were God. I wouldn't let the children die. Would you? When we were in Bangladesh, we went into the slums there, and on one occasion we found 2 ladies, didn't we, who were working to save little girls from prostitution, which was the only means of earning money for those little girls. And the work they were doing, because they were burning with the desire to be the hands and feet of God, was quite remarkable. Yeah. And when you think of some of the thin representations of God that you hear about and see sometimes, I love to have those memories. I know you do as well.
But I think we do see it. I think it's in quiet places all over the world where Christians are just getting on with the job. I mean, the cafe that I help with once a week in our church, everybody is important who comes through the door. The people who come for the food bank, every single one of them is important. And I know that is actually reflected throughout this country and actually throughout the world, of people who are saying like that, everybody is important. They don't have to be brightly coloured. They don't have to have anything very special. Because they're seen by God and because they're loved by God, therefore they're very special indeed.
And it's just worth reflecting on the fact that those two ladies, one was a Christian and one was a Muslim. And I think, having met them, they were so absorbed in what they were doing that they had temporarily perhaps forgotten what they were.
And there's a big subject for another time, Adrian.
It is. I tell you what, there are so many tensions when it comes to faith, but distributing love, caring for people, you don't need to get too confused about that.
No.
There's plenty of work to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you next time.
See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.